Hi guys, it's Mike here. Welcome to a Sunday video for the AAA cards challenge, which starts today and it runs for 2 weeks. And the theme this fortnight is inspired by a film. And this is my card. I made a 2-part video. This is part 1 because it was quite long already. I'm using Newton's Good Spy and the Marianne Design LR0482, which is Tuscan landscape. You can see the little cypress trees, and the street is from Sugar Pea Design, and it's either from Home or from Schoolscape, and I think it's Schoolscape. I'm not entirely sure. And then I'm die cutting everything. I pulled 3 colors of green, but then I only used 2 of them. And one side is linen structure and the other one is smooth, and I use the smooth side because I prefer that. So one of the requirements of the AAA card challenge, which is a CAS or clean and simple challenge blog, is to use as little dimension or layers as you can. And they're just showing you these dies are not long enough for a landscape version and too long for a portrait. And of course you can cut it. They don't cut the sides, so you can elongate them. And this one, yeah, I wasn't sure which one was up and which one was. I'm not sure it matters with a mountain, but yeah, I decided to put it this way, and then in the end I didn't use it. Anyway, to make as few layers as possible, you have to, or you don't have to, but I did all the die cutting into each other. So it's kind of an inlay die cutting, but it's on top of each other. Does that make sense? So all the landscape, instead of being 3 layers, is only 1 layer. And you see I'm also cutting it from the other side, so I have 2, but I'm turning the paper around so the trees are on the other side, otherwise it's very samey. And it's a shame that there's not more die on the right side, so you can just move them a little bit more to the center. But yeah, I'm die cutting this street from black paper and then as well from white, so I can make the stripes in the middle. And I'm also inlaying all of those, and I'm keeping this black might have been a little bit too thin because it kinda warped, but it's fine in the end. And here's the white panel. Also keeping all the white bits because, you know, that was the point. And if you don't have black or you wanna save some cardstock, you could color the white one with your markers. I didn't think about it until I was here in the process because, you know, the white one was a little bit sturdier and, well, maybe prettier. But yeah, you decide. I die cut black, and you can color it, of course. So I'm cutting the tree landscape, the cypresses, in half, and then I'm smoothing it out because the back of the dies is usually a little bit sharp. And then to make my landscape, I'm gonna die cut the trees again from the darker cardstock. And I used a darker cardstock just to give the impression of it being further in the distance. And I'm trying to decide where it is, where I have to place it. And I'm not sure what happened here because I think I made a mistake. I thought I was die cutting the shape of the trees, and then, well, it turned out to be the top of my trees. It is too many loose bits, otherwise I'm keeping them. But then instead I thought I'll just do 3 layers with the cypresses instead of that strange mountainy hilly bit that was also in there. So here I'm positioning it again, and it did move a little bit, so I had to clean up the edges, and that made the card narrower than usual. But I also trimmed the card base, so unless you measure it, you wouldn't know. Don't tell anyone. See, that's what I mean. That's the inlay, so that becomes 1 layer, and I'm also doing it for the other one. And at the beginning I showed you 3 colors of green, but I didn't like the third one very much. So now from the bottom one I'm die cutting the street or road. I'm not sure how you would call it. And I think, oh well, that's a bit much, 4 layers. And they are in the same position. That was a bit of a shame, wasn't it? But yeah, I went to buy this Marianne Design Tuscan Sky on purpose, because I thought that wouldn't, go very well with my movie, which is Under the Tuscan Sun. And I don't know if you've seen the movie, but there is a scene where Frances goes to meet her boyfriend at Positano, where he lives, and asks the Polizia Comunale for a ride. So the police guy is on a scooter, and it's a very nice electric blue scooter, and Frances is wearing a white dress, as in the dream that Marcello, the guy that she meets, has. But yeah, Newton doesn't have a dress on, or I'm not sure if it's a him or a he in this case, but so I call it Newton a white scarf, like that would be the dress that Frances is wearing, and I colored his fur as her hair is, as I remember. It's on TV a lot, but I kind of watch it every time, but I don't pay much attention because I know it by heart, so I usually do other things. I think it's a dark blonde, maybe a little bit reddish, but I'm not sure. But anyway, the challenge is to be inspired by the film, not to copy it. I hope that's okay. So here I'm inlaying the street, and I also die cut it into the landscape, so that's also just 1 layer. And now I'm sticking together 2 layers, but I probably should have realized that I wanted to put some distress inking for a bit of shading, because these hills are the same, and I only realized it when I already stuck it together. First I have to die cut again the landscape so I can put the bottom one in. See? And it should all fit together very nicely, but here it's like I'm sticking it together already instead of inking, because now it looks a bit samey and there's not much how you say that, depth in it. So here I'm pulling it apart again carefully, and I'm using distressing shabby shutters and the finger dauber just to edge it a little bit, and that will give you a depth and a definition of that hill that's more in the distance. And here I thought it needs a little bit more actually. It's all a process, isn't it? I had an idea in my head of how I wanted it to look, but until you start working on it, yeah, it's just an idea in your head. But I feel it turned out really good, and if you know the movie, you probably know which scene I'm talking about, and it all makes sense. So here I'm cutting the edges. I can't talk anyway. So my card base, of course, is also too wide, so I'm measuring it, and then I just cut off the little bit that is too much, and now it fits perfectly. So I use foam tape to attach this one, but if you really wanted to cut down on the layers, you could also die cut it again from the white card base and then put a bit of paper on the inside to cover up all the bits and bobs. But I thought 2 layers, that's okay, that's, you know, better than 6. So a foam tape or tape runner, both would work, of course. And then I'm also oh yeah, I forgot about the sentiment. The sentiment is from the same set, Newton Scoots by, and I'm stamping it with Versafine Onyx Black ink. And it says scooting by to say hello, because that's actually what Frances does, isn't she? She goes to meet Marciano to say hi to him. Well, it didn't work out as she planned it, but so this is pretty much part 1 finished. I already had one Newton Nuke die cut and stamped left from another project, so I had to bother cut him out, and I'm coloring it in part 2, which is linked down below. So please come on over and watch part 2 as well, and I will see you again on Tuesday. Thank you for watching. Bye.